And then the thing that struck me about the festival, and I guess this is kind of because we come from the UK, is it's your history, it's your current history, it's your culture. Like, we don't have sidewalk painting, so we were like, what is this? This is a thing we don't have. This is amazing. And then all the artwork was your kind of your pop culture.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby.
I am the greatest. He'll fall an eight to prove that I'm great. And if he keeps talking jive, I'm going to cut it to five.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Ville Chillin' Podcast. Today we have Dusty joining us again. If you missed that last episode with her and Kayla, it was awesome. Some really awesome conversation just throughout the whole thing. Learned a lot about the festival, about you, about Kayla, and it was really fun. We were so happy to be a part of that. So looks like you brought a couple new people with you today. Do you want to introduce them real quick?
Sure. I'll start with Tonya is the Chief Development Officer for Girl Scouts of Kentuckiana. And I think I mentioned in our last podcast that she's fabulous. And there's lots of lore there with just Steve and Tonya. But so she's here. And then Christine Castle is from Wales. I know I'm going to get the geography wrong even after 20 years. And I think I also mentioned that there is a literal United Kingdom connection for Via. And so I felt it was important to showcase just two more moving pieces of the festival, since so it is about the festival and how cool it is in 12 days, by the way, who's counting? And but there's so much. There's so many layers, like Shrek would say, like an onion.
Like an onion. Yes. So that's really cool. We're definitely excited to hear more about it, and we can't wait to see it. I've definitely been counting the days. So probably not as closely as you have been, because I'm sure you're losing your mind at this point. But it's
I'm like, I have YouTube on. So I have a laptop, I have my work laptop, I have an extra monitor, I have a TV, and I have a phone. And at any given time, there's something scrolling about the weather. Like, it is absurd between now and the festival, the amount of weather forecasting that I watch.
I believe it, though, because, I mean, that makes a big difference just from trying to set up and plan. And then, of course, the art itself. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can only imagine. Do you have all your ponchos ready in case they're needed again?
Yeah, well, that's new. We got that. It's always it's just logistically, we've set up, our maps are done, and
I saw that. I saw the post that said something about, despite all the changes from the event organizer, the map is actually done.
That's me.
It's funny though, because you mentioned that last time, how you're always making last minute changes to things. So it's awesome.
And this year I had such crazy brain ideas that I called Tonya and I was like, could you take time out of your busy Chief Development Day and meet me at the waterfront and let me just talk this through with another human being? And she did. So then I gave Justin the bad news.
Hey, it all comes together though. It all works out. So I can only imagine the pressure and everything that you're dealing with right now, but everything's about to come to fruition and it'll be amazing for sure.
Yeah, I'm really not. It's not as much pressure. It kind of does its own thing. And I think working with Girl Scouts with the festival for the last couple of years, I've just kind of learned that it'll do what it does and it'll work out because it's fabulous. No aliens yet, though. A little disappointed.
Exactly. No aliens, but you can see it from space.
You absolutely still can see it from space.
After we talked last time, I went straight to Google Earth and checked for it, and you can see it.
They're going to be up there again this year. I know they only do it when we're there.
Yeah.
Well, I should start charging them.
Exactly.
Royalties.
Add one more sponsorship spot.
I'm clawing my way this year. It is a thing. It's real.
Yeah, I mean, I think I saw 146 pieces or areas for
So part of why Justin's so frustrated at me is we were at 127 forever. And I was like, oops, we need more. And in order to get more, we need to move the whole festival completely around. And literally the whole thing. And so we got more. We actually have capacity for, if I wanted to get absolutely crazy and in a perfect world and everybody was sponsored and people gave us millions of dollars, we could do, I think Sean, the guy who does all the mapping, I think it's like 230, but we don't have the capacity to do 230 right now. So we've added, 20. So we're at 148 paintings.
148. That's still amazing. That's a lot. I mean, what other festival can you walk through and see 148 paintings for free?
Live. Yeah, live.
Yeah, being done live. So still quite amazing.
Yeah, it's fun.
So I guess why don't we just jump into what you wanted to talk about today? These other connections with the Girl Scouts, the connections with the UK, and then just the why of it all. So I guess why is this so important to you, and why should it be important to everyone in our community?
Tonya.
Oh, that was for me. Okay.
That's you.
Okay. So, well, it's really important to have a family-friendly event that is free to the community, and everyone is invited and welcome. And it's a very safe space, and it's just lots of fun. And you can really spend 2 whole days down at the waterfront and spend as much money or no money, so that's always a really cool thing to, be with community. As far as, Girl Scouts go, it's really a great way for Girl Scouts to show up in the community in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
We are known for lots of wonderful things, including the wonderful, wonderful Girl Scout cookies.
Of course.
But Girl Scouts is so much more than the cookie program, which is an important thing that, the largest female led entrepreneurship, if you will. So it's pretty cool. But it's a way for Girl Scouts to be in the community in a different way. And then for them to be able to participate. And there's obviously we have a ton of Girl Scouts that are artists, that are, being creative throughout the whole weekend, but we have Girl Scouts that are doing so many things beyond that. We've had Girl Scouts be part of the planning committee and learn how to plan a pretty significant festival. And that's a really, really great learning opportunity. We have Girl Scouts that do all the volunteer jobs, whether that's, garbage, bringing snacks and waters to the different artists, help handing out flyers or giving information, or helping work the kids booths or information booth, all those types of things. And then additionally, we have a handful of Girl Scouts that are actually our media for the weekend. We have our official Girl Scout media. So if you can imagine these young ladies with microphones going up to strangers and interviewing them. And we've had some cool local celebrities. We've had some news people come up and want to interview our media, and then they interview them back in turn. So that's always fun
That's cool.
to do. The mayor has shown up at our festival before, and, you're a 10-year-old Girl Scout reporter and you're interviewing the mayor. It's quite a big deal. So,
oh yeah.
And then of course, while our featured artist is not always a female, we've had some great female featured artists. And this year, Kayla is just such an inspiration to so many people for so many reasons. But I think the girls are really going to get a kick out of getting to be with her and learning about her art. And she's such a brilliant artist. And it just comes in her brain, and then she just starts doing it, and it's done in like 5 minutes. And and I'm sure they're going to interview her for days to try to figure out how it comes in her brain and onto whatever canvas she uses, whether that's concrete or, regular canvas. So I think it's going to be a pretty cool, fun thing. And you asked me several questions in there. I don't know if I answered all of them, but anything I missed?
No, that's definitely a great start. Why is it important to the community, and why should the community really make sure to engage with something like this? And I think you hit it on the head. We talked about it last time as well, but female empowerment is obviously a big part of it. I know I told Dusty last time I have 4 sisters. I have a daughter, so I definitely understand that side of it. I had no brothers, so it was just me and them. So that's a really big thing. And then my little sisters were in Girl Scouts for a time when we were younger, so I definitely
awesome.
get it. And there's just so much, and the fact that you give them the jobs to do, they're involved in the volunteering, it builds great character skills.
Right. It's really cool that they get to participate in other ways than just the art too, the logistics, the organizing, and things beyond just the painting too. So if if that isn't their thing, they can still participate in other ways.
Yeah,
really cool.
And I did forget to. Oh, I'm sorry, Dusty.
Okay, I was just gonna say go ahead.
I was going to say, I did forget to mention, we still also have lots of Girl Scouts that just come to see their Girl Scout sisters, do art. So they, lots of them also just come to have fun and party. So
nice.
And I was gonna say that our media, they create a media program. They're gonna outline with our social media manager for Girl Scouts of Kentuckiana who they want to talk to, what questions are important, how they want it to flow, what they want to show. So it's all girl led, right? So I can say, I would really like you to interview such and such, but they don't have to, because they're making those choices and those decisions, which makes it even cooler to watch the videos they put up, because you're like, I wouldn't have thought of that. And then we have whole troops that come out. And so you have a troop of 20 girls, and they have a 10-foot space to create one thing, and they have to work together to do it, which I couldn't wrangle that many girls. It would be like herding cats, truly, because I was like, I don't know what to tell you. So so we have these troop leaders that are encouraging it. So it's really such a cool, well-rounded event that showcases what the fabulousness that is girl power. Sorry in advance to anybody who's not girl power. We are. So
yeah, and it's so amazing. It's so many facets of the festival, with them being able to be so involved. It touches on so many areas, from leadership, being self-driven, to teamwork and
empowerment, creativity, all that,
giving back, and it hits in so many areas, knowing that they get to participate in so many things. Because even just being involved in trying to organize something like that is a feat in of it. That's just amazing in anyways, because there's so many skills to be learned, so many life skills that help once they join the workforce and everything like that. So I think it's awesome. For sure.
I know when Via moved under Girl Scouts, and the very first thing I was like, I think we need a mentor program. I will be the worst mentor ever, but I will mentor girls to run events. So I had no idea what that meant. And I remember getting on Zoom with girls from across the council, and I'm like, I don't know what to say to you. Tell me what you want to learn, because there's so many things. And they showed up, and they created their own spaces, and they took on projects, and it was a lot of fun.
That's really cool. Like you were saying, there's just so much to learn and so many things to teach. And like you said, you see them do something, and I'm sure I'll see it, but it's I wouldn't have even thought of that. Whether it was the question or, who to talk to and why, and making these connections, because in younger people's brains, it's a lot different,
Right.
So that's so cool. And it goes back to the whole creativity aspect. As people who run a podcast, I can say it's definitely not an easy thing always to have questions or to be able to have talking points, and just being able to try to figure out, technology issues. Obviously, that's something that we're still working through, because you change one thing and then other things just don't go the same way. So it's so many skills to be developed. That's really cool. So for this year, it's the 19th and 20th, right? Like we already said, 148 different pieces of art.
Yes.
What time can people start showing up? What is it? It's like 10 to start at 10 each day?
Each day it starts at 10. They can stay till 7 on Saturday and 5 on Sunday. And you're going to start seeing it pop up on the Facebook feed. Art is temporary, right? Like I have this whole poof, it's gone meme, because poof, it's gone. Monday morning, it's gone. By 10:30, there's nothing there. So, you'll get to see it in pictures. You'll get to see it on Google Earth. You'll get to see it in videos, but you won't see it, in its entirety, because it's gone. And so, come see it. Come see it both days, because if you come on Saturday, it could be something different on Sunday. If you just come on Sunday, you miss seeing something that was fabulously created on Saturday. So,
yeah, I'm envisioning, going and seeing the people who get started on Saturday. You might see an outline of it, but then by Sunday, you get to really see it all coming together.
Unless and I have a surprise for you guys.
That.
I think I told you, so you'll definitely want to see it both days.
Okay, well, we appreciate that. I don't know what to expect or even what to think, except to say thank you, really. I mean,
we're excited.
We're excited to just be having this opportunity to have these types of conversations and being involved. So we appreciate it. But
I'll put a good word into our reporters that they should interview you.
Oh, no. I'll start preparing now.
Get you in.
That would be awesome. I would really, I can't wait to see that, and just see all of it, really. See what 15 things Kayla's going to do, because I know it's funny. You've both mentioned that she does things in like 5 minutes, but then when we were talking to Jeff and Carrie, they said the same thing. They said they were at the Big Four Festival with them she was there while they were there a couple weeks ago, and he said he started working on his piece, and then like after he got so far, she had already incorporated her piece into his piece, and they had the same thing to say.
Like right after her podcast, I went to her wedding, and instead of a first dance, her and Kevon did like a first painting, and so they painted like together to music.
That's so cool.
Like, the painting took 5 minutes. They got the whole painting done in the time somebody did a song. I was like, oh, it's absurd. I love it.
That's wild. But it just plays into the community piece of this whole thing. Going back to that, going to, you were there at the wedding, but then, Jeff and Carrie talking about her, and they both, we talked to Joel, and he, great things to say about Joel. And it's just really awesome. It really is a community. It's like a whole big family, it seems.
It is. And I think that was, I think that's part of why I brought Christine, and I'd like sent her a Facebook message across the ocean. And I was like, could you join us? Because there's this other layer that like, I don't think gets talked about enough, but it really kind of showcases impact globally. Be global. I mean, we're in space. We might as well be across the pond.
Exactly. So what is that story there? Do you want to go into it, or I don't know who wants to bring it up or talk about it? But
I took the festival over 10 years ago, and 11, who knows? I don't count anymore. But I had put like this all call out to all my friends, everybody I knew. I need help. I don't know what I'm doing. Please lean in, and I'd like to at least see if I can do one. And had a really, really amazing. I have had a very good friend overseas, and he said, "Yeah, I'll come." I was like, I don't think you know what that means. So we got him here. There was a group of us, and we were all friends. And so we all kind of chipped in and made it possible. And so he came over. So when I tell you, like, leaning in and creativity back then, I was like, everything but the kitchen sink. So we had this idea as a former, like, theater kid, that wouldn't it be cool to do a mystery, throughout Via, and kids coming to the festival could visit play characters. Like, so we had this whole mystery, and like, so kids had to figure out, it was down in E-Town. So it was in the center, and there was a dragon buried under the city hall, and the dragon's egg got stolen, and the kids had to figure out which dastardly villain stole the dragon's egg. So it was really cute, right? It's all getting the community involved. And my friend Ray from overseas, with his fabulously Gandalf-looking self, with his fabulously British accent, stood in a tent in the middle of Elizabethtown, Kentucky, launching the kids on their journey. And so Ray was one of my best friends. And so every Via I would call and I would say, I need to be talked down to a ledge, or I'd Facebook message or post on something, you get in those stress moments. And he was kind of always there. And so long story short, at Via, people can memorialize the memories of people through dedicating a painting to that person. And Ray had passed away a couple of years ago. And I'll let Christine go from there, because it's a very unusual connection, because I don't understand how it's evolved. And I think it's better coming from her.
Oh, thank you. I suppose it's because of your friendship, Dusty, with Dad, we knew how important you were to him, and vice versa, and how important Via was. He talked about it loads. Like, the time he came over, when he came back, it was like all he talked about. I mean, and obviously the fact that he'd come and stayed with you, and he'd like met all your dogs and your cats and all that stuff as well. But he just loved it, and he loved what it stood for, and he loved the fact that the kids could get involved, and that there was a whole empowering story and stuff that they could take away with them. And I think he really loved that he sort of, just for that day, was almost like a minor celebrity, telling them the story. And I think he was always that kind of person. Like, when I was a kid, he was always telling stories. Like, my mum remembers him reading me Lord of the Rings and things like that. Like, when I was tiny, like too young really probably to have understood Lord of the Rings. So in my imagination, that book is like really childlike. But he did all the voices and all of that stuff, just reading to his kid in the house. And he kept that with him his whole life. So he was always someone who was a bit of a safe space for people. So like, he kind of attracted the weirdos and the waifs and the strays, and he would kind of connect with those people and be a bit of a safe space for them, I guess. And I think being able to be that person at the festival, and it be welcomed, and it be part of the day, and it be a useful thing for him to bring on that day, I think he really loved that. So yeah, he talked about it for years afterwards, and he was planning to come back again, and I think he'd have come in the next couple of years. We had COVID and all of that stuff that kind of stopped everything from happening, but it was definitely in his plan, was to come back over. And really, really sadly, he passed away really suddenly and unexpectedly. And that was in like the May. And we just picked up talking with Dusty, because we were all in shock and obviously devastated. And Dusty was like, well, why don't we think about doing like an artwork for him, or do you want to do something? I can't remember how it came about, actually, Dusty. I'm saying it was your idea, but maybe I don't know, actually.
I think we were just having conversations, and yeah, I don't know. I know how Picking Deb came about, but I don't know. I don't remember. It felt like the right thing to do. We have several artists. We've had over the years several memorial pieces that are done for other people, and he he gave financially to the festival. He supported the festival while he was here and in the years he wasn't. So he was this intricate little piece of the festival that nobody really kind of knew about. And it felt like the right thing to do at the time. And it felt like it would be good closure for those of us over here that knew him, that met him through the festival, that kept connections with him all those years later via social media, to have closure. And so I think that's kind of how it came about.
Yeah, I think you might be right. That kind of, that still keeping that connection going, and kind of, it sounds really corny, but like kind of keeping him alive in a way, isn't it? Keeping that connection and keeping him with us. So yeah, and it was just amazing. And we tried, so we did a fundraiser as part of like his memorial, and then my mum, my husband, and I managed to come over that first year that you guys did an artwork for him, and it was just amazing. And so now we can't not do it. It has to happen every year now. That's us forever.
And that's really cool.
So the painting behind you was the first year. That Papa Nurgle from World of Warcraft was the first year that.
From Warhammer, not World of Warcraft.
Warhammer, sorry.
Sorry, the dad wouldn't let me not. Deb would tell us off because she's a full-on Warhammer fan. And
the artist, yeah.
Yeah, that's what her and Dad kind of bonded over, because I think they met the first year, didn't they, when he came over and stuff. That was their bonding thing. So yeah, that she did that the first year, and she did such a great job. And that photo you've got there is us with her that first year, and that was amazing. We'd love to come back again, but it's like, it's a long way, isn't it?
It definitely is, but it's so awesome, just the story. Thank you for sharing that story with us, and of course, sorry for your loss. I definitely understand what it's like to lose a parent suddenly, and it's no fun. It's nothing. It's indescribable, especially if you're not able to prepare for it. But it's so cool, and I'm sure it means so much to him even now that you keep giving money, and time, and even right now, talking to us is just continuing that honoring of that memory, and it's so cool.
Thank you. I'm sorry you've been through the same. I think those of us who've lost, it's hard. You connect with each other, and you know what that there's something you can't describe, isn't there? If you've lost anyone suddenly, but a parent going like that out of nowhere. And he wasn't an old person either. He wasn't an old soul either, was he? Dusty was still young at heart.
It was like a hip Gandalf. I don't even know how to explain it.
He was. He touched over people's lives in a weird way as well. He was for us over here. He was. I don't know what your equivalent would be, but he was like a nobody from a council estate, is how you would describe him over here. Like, he didn't come from anything. He came from nothing. He had a troubled childhood and stuff. And then it's really nice that every year it's not just the family, like it's his friends. It's everybody gives and donates to something they're never going to probably see, because a lot of us are from the UK. Some people will see it because they're your mates over there. But that's a really nice thing to know that people are giving in his honour to sponsor an artist to do something amazing that the Girl Scouts are going to see, and that they'll feel interested in. They might ask questions. They might find out about the UK because they are, who's this person, and that might spark some interest and keep that connection going, which is like, he would love that. He had so many little sayings, but one of them was like, oh, that's really cool. He was like, he plays stuff quite low key, but he'd be like, that is so cool that there might be connections being continued because we're carrying on that in his memory.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can definitely see the passion and the energy that gets poured into the festival alone, but even, from Dusty and the festival and his honor, there's so much there, and taking the time out to, make sure that happens is a really cool, really awesome thing. because we can't forget these people who play such an important role in our life, you know. So being able to continue that in such a cool way is it's awesome and it's mind blowing. Not every festival would really do that or make sure that that was a part of it. So. What's up, everybody? We just wanted to take a quick pause and say, if you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. Drop us a couple comments. Let us know what you like, what you don't, and let us know what you think about the video. And make sure to share out with your friends and family. It really helps us a lot.
Yeah, we're on every social media platform. We're on every podcast provider out there. So whenever you get a chance, just give us a like, give us a follow. We definitely appreciate it. It really help us out.
And with that, we'll get right back to it.
Yeah.
I don't know what we froze for a second, so I apologize.
I'm gonna say this. We have 2 moons right now. Has anybody considered the possibility that it's because we have 2 moons that we're having technical difficulty? Of course, we have 2 moons. It's 12 days to Via.
I saw that. It's the mini moon, the asteroid that's circling with the moon right now. Yeah. It's crazy. I don't know.
Now you have an excuse. We have 2 moons.
I'll take it. I will take any excuse I can get, honestly, because I don't know what to do at this point, but we keep it going. But yeah, it's really cool. And thank you again for, just sharing that story. And, that's, it's cool just being able to talk about it, but talking about it with 2 complete strangers from, across the pond. We appreciate it. It really adds to the narrative of the whole community aspect, like we were talking about. And it's a very far-reaching community. So that's,
and it speaks to the experience that Via Colori is. Just because how it stuck with them, the couple times the times that you was a part of it, so to where you still want to be a part of it in some way and keep it going. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
Not the festival you want to miss in Louisville.
Right.
No, and I think about sharing this story with Tonya, sharing the story of the Girl Scouts doing the artwork, some of the artwork, and Joel being on and you showcasing some of our artists over the Ask the artists why they are painting the pieces they are painting. Ask about the sponsors who sponsor those paintings. Those sponsors that support Girl Scouts through their sponsorship of the festival have a reason for doing that, right? I mean, it's all this big kind of lovey, happy thing. And our Girl Scouts that are painting, ask them. I encourage the public to ask them why they are painting what they are painting, because it is so important to recognize that they are being very brave,
Yes.
in those spaces. I couldn't do it anymore. I don't think get down there and then talk to 10,000 people about why I'm painting Perry the platypus. I just don't think I could do it, but they can, and it's fabulous.
It is. It's really awesome. And it goes back to that empowerment thing. I didn't have anything like that when I was growing up. And I can say just joining the workforce was a scary thing, just trying to do interviews and talk to one person. And then, you continue up in your career and you start doing meetings, holding meetings with people from other organizations, and all that stuff is so scary. So to be able to kind of get a feel of what that's like at such a young age, it's only going to help so much in the future. It really is teaching life skills on so many levels. Because, like I said, just, having these conversations and then them getting out there and interviewing and things like that, that's not something I started doing until a couple years ago, much less at 10, 12, 14, older, younger. It's very cool thing, and very cool that you all give them the opportunity to do that. I think it's an awesome thing for sure.
It's been a good time.
Yeah.
I'm so it's 12 days away. It's the 12 days of Via. I feel like at the end there should be more than a partridge in a pear tree.
Oh man, there could be a picture of one.
There could be. Every year I have a nightmare about Via. It's something crazy. And the one year I had a nightmare that it snowed, and I had 3 artists paint snow scenes in Via because they read that on my Facebook. I was like, that's just rude.
Bring in the snow.
Oh, that's funny though. It's good that they have fun with it though, like that. And so many contributions from so many people. But yeah, from
Really?
vendors to sponsors to everybody involved. It's so cool. So I didn't have any other questions. I think we've touched on the community aspect, the Girl Scout aspect of it a lot. So I guess before we do leave, what Tonya and Christine, I guess, what was your like impressions of like the first time seeing it? What's your initial impressions of it? What were your initial impressions of the festival? Because I haven't been yet, and I really want to. I want to get somebody else's perspective. And
Tonya, I did tell them that I am terrible at explaining.
I would like Christine to go first on this one.
I thought I was doing the same thing. I thought you go first and I'll jump in.
And you know what, Christine? The whole time I was thinking, I've met that lady before, and I totally just did not connect back that we spent a lot of time together, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
So I'm
I just
so
did
sorry.
the same. No,
I'm
I did
so
the
sorry.
same.
I was like, I
Yeah.
know her, but she lives in Wales. I don't think I've been there. So, okay, well, I'll go first if you want. So I started working at Girl Scouts on staff in March of 2021. Although I was, a Girl Scout leader. Actually, my troop graduated that spring. So I'd been a troop leader for 13 years. But anyway, so I'm, get this job. And as part of my job, we're going to have this festival. So I'm like, tell me about it. And Dusty's like, well, it's street painting. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. And she was like, chalk. And I'm like, okay. And then there's these cosplay. And I'm like, I don't know what cosplay. I swear I didn't know what a cosplay person was. And then there's vendors and food trucks. And she like listed 487 things. And I am like, I don't get it. It didn't mean it wasn't great. I trusted her, but I was like, I just have to see it. And so since then, I'm not sure I've mastered my description of it. But what I would say, as someone that felt very confused by my initial description told to me, and then now a person, I guess this is my 4th year. I think I would describe it as this. I think I would describe it as this festival that you show up to and you see all this amazing art. And then there are all these cool, different, unique things intertwined that you actually can't describe. But it's fun. And I would say that's how I describe it. I will say my personal reaction, or not reaction, my thing that I love the most is it truly is, it is the melting pot of our community. All people, all ages, all economic status. It is, everyone is there and everyone is happy to be there with each other. And of course, the bonus is all the brilliant art. And I will say my favorite art always is there's at least one person, if not 3 or 4, they will always make a 3D painting and they will draw the little feet so you know exactly where to stand so that you can see it less perfectly. And it always, like, I always look for that one because it's absolutely amazing that anyone can do that on, like, canvas with a paintbrush, but like on sidewalk with, very nice chalk, but chalk. So it's pretty wild. That was a terrible description, just like I got 4 years ago. But
see,
that's
I
perfect.
told you.
You just got to be there. I mean, that's what everybody says. You just got to kind of be there.
Now that we're friends, you just have to trust me. That's it.
Yeah. Well, and it's cool because we did hear a little bit of that story the first time when we talked to Dusty, because she did explain that. She's like, I couldn't explain it right, and she didn't get it, but I wanted to hear the story from the other side too, because I think that's really fun. It's funny that you mentioned the 3D painting too, because when we talked to Jeff and Carrie, Jeff mentioned how you're walking around, you almost want to see all the different art from all the different sides because you might see something totally different. And he, of course, gave us the awesome idea that I don't know that I would have thought of before, is to before leaving, make sure to go up on the Big Four bridge and look down at it. I was told that's a very important perspective too. Dusty's in disbelief.
Tonya,
That's a pro tip.
I think we could maybe convince. Maybe we'll get up there this year. We might be able to do it in style too. I have to talk to the waterfront, but yeah, it's fabulous to see it from the bridge. We're always so busy though. Like I get to see it from the bridge on Monday morning, so we don't really see a lot of the art when we're flying around on golf carts being cool.
Yeah. But yeah, it was really cool to hear that, you know, for one, that you said it, but then after what Jeff had said, it's funny how it all is coming back around. It all connects, everybody's experience, so many similarities and so many variances. So it's really awesome I can't wait to experience it. So I guess, Christine, what were your thoughts when you were first there?
I think for me, it felt like a huge hug, because obviously we were going through a really difficult year that year, and it felt amazing to see Dusty in person and to meet Deb, and they really looked after us. On top of organising the festival that year, Dusty also organised us as well, so she had all that on top, and that was amazing. And I love her for that, by the way. Thank you, Dusty. And then the thing that struck me about the festival, and I guess this is kind of because we come from the UK, is it's your history, it's your current history, it's your culture. Like, we don't have sidewalk painting, so we were like, what is this? This is a thing we don't have. This is amazing. And then all the artwork was your pop culture. So it was all your drawings of stuff that mean stuff to your young people. And then there was stuff in there. There was like historic feature, like people from history being drawn. And then it was awesome. And then all this stuff that probably you all take for granted, like there was crawfish trucks, and we were like, what is this? All the food. Yeah. My husband went absolutely to town on, I think you had like a Twinkies thing that was deep fried or something. I don't know. He just went and ate like everything, because it was just stuff we don't have.
Was it the funnel cake?
Deep fried Twinkies, like deep fried Oreos and funnel cakes.
So. I think he went and got a bit of everything, and then was like, because it was just too much. Because he was just like, I have to eat everything here because it's nothing we ever get at home. And he got to the point where he was green because he'd eaten so much. It was just too much, but it was amazing. And just everyone was so friendly. Like in the UK, we're quite reserved, I think, a lot. And just the fact that everyone comes up and talks to you. You sit by a painting for a while and you look at it, and someone will come and comment on it and talk to you about it. And it was just such a hug of an experience. And then the cultural side of it as well. And we did make it up onto the bridge, so we had that impact of seeing the whole thing.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was just amazing. I'm so glad we came over. I'm so glad we came to it. And it was just such a lovely experience. I'd recommend it. And I came all the way from the UK, so if you live nearby, there's no excuse. You can't not go.
Exactly. And as long as you can get there, that's all you got to worry about paying for, and so you definitely are trying to get as many people that we can tell to go. And so it's really awesome that to hear that from the other side of the world, really. Hopefully you get to come back soon and have that same experience again soon, because I know I definitely can't wait. So
we'd love that. And I know my husband would be straight there for all the food again. So,
I'm
telling you, the food is great.
It's amazing. It was amazing. He loved it.
We added a food vendor this year. I've never heard of them. They're great. I don't know. They could be awful, but they're probably good. But they have something called drunken mushrooms, and I don't know what that is. And I just think that that's such a perfect thing for the quirkiest festival. What kind of food do you have? I don't know. We have twisted biscuits and drunken mushrooms.
That's so funny. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's so funny. And that's one thing, going back to when you were talking about the Girl Scouts, interviewing people and having their own sets of questions, and how it's something that we wouldn't think of. The food aspect isn't something that I would have thought of. That's a piece of your story that I wouldn't have even considered, because all those food trucks are from around here. They're doing things for the most part that we know of.
They're not, though. We have some of them are coming from out of state.
Okay.
They heard about the quirkiness of it, and they're like, there's only so many spots. A lot of them are local, but we have a couple that are coming from out of state, and I'm like, craziness.
All right. Cat decided to join. Yes, it's a cat.
The cat can make an appearance. Hi, cat.
Yes, she decided to jump up, and it's so scary when she jumps up here because the keyboard's right there, and I'm like, do not mess with any settings. Like, don't stop the recording. Don't disconnect us from the call, please.
Hey, Via's pet friendly, so the podcast can be pet friendly. I have cats everywhere.
Yeah, it is. The dog's hanging out on the couch, like behind the green screen right now, so he's been listening too. She just completely threw me off. But so the food, yeah, I'm excited to definitely see that too. I'm making sure to at least get a biscuit. I hear I have to get them early because otherwise they run out.
They sell out. It's true. It's
That's
tragic
crazy.
And true.
And to think, to think that it's a biscuit is so. I don't know. I'm going to have to experience it, because I'm like, I've had plenty of biscuits, or at least American biscuits. I know biscuit means something different over in the UK, right? Across the pond. So
it does. It really does. But we tried your biscuits when we were there. I was converted. My husband, not so much. He was a bit like, I'm not sure about these. But I was converted. And that was the thing. Like, we've been to the US before, but not to your part of the US. We've never been to Kentucky before. And your food is different. That's the lovely thing is, it's a real celebration of your area. I know you get the food trucks from other places, Dusty, and all that, but it's like it's you guys, it's your culture. And it was amazing for us to come over and experience that, because we ate foods we'd never ate before. We met people that had, talked to us about stuff we'd never heard about before. We visited places, we saw stuff, and it was all because we came for the festival. And it was amazing. So your food stuff was amazing. We had such a good time just eating.
I'm just lucky they all sign up every year. Thank you, food vendors, for signing up and continuing to support Girl Scouts with your vendor fee.
Exactly.
Feed everybody.
Yes. And I mean, like we said, we get food trucks at almost every festival that's held here, especially in Louisville, but I've never heard of these biscuits, so I can't wait to try them. So.
We have, you're going to be, if you like food, you will be blown away. Apparently we have some of the best food that's, out of every festival, short of like a food truck festival, and we have some great baked goods, and our vendors are they have such cool stuff. I do all my Christmas shopping at Via.
That's awesome.
I do.
I can't wait to see it. Because I know some of the artists also have vendors, like they do some vending there, right? They hold a booth to sell whatever various things they're doing. So that really supports them in multiple ways. Them being able to do that, get more eyes on their product while also displaying their art. And
we're blowing stuff up this year. Sort of, technically. There's no flame, but we are blowing stuff up in our STEM zone.
I was going to say, is that part of the STEM?
So excited. Like, I told Justin we needed a blast zone of 20 feet around the STEM zone tent, and he was like, does Tonya know about this? I was like, I told her what it was, and she was like, that sounds cool.
That's funny. I would have had the same question. It's like, has this been approved?
Yep. Yes, it has.
And I think I said it last time too, but that's another really cool aspect of the whole festival is including just so many different things, going back to the culture part of it, it is the food, the paintings, the people, the art, but then being able to include things like STEM into the whole mix is so cool. And actually, the TARDIS, having the TARDIS there every year, I think it's awesome because
I sent you the picture.
Yeah, it's in here somewhere.
I know, I saw it.
And I wanted to make sure to mention one of my friends that we've actually interviewed. He does improv. He's teaching classes at Improv 502. He knew about the festival because he had engagement photos taken at the TARDIS there because
Cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he told us we had him at PopCon. We did a show at PopCon this year, and we had him on stage. And so as we were closing out, I was mentioning the festival, and he was like, I know about that. I reached out to her to see if we could use her TARDIS for our engagement photos.
Oh my gosh, I do remember that.
Yeah, Stefan, of Improv 502. So
Yeah,
it's
he's
just
my
funny.
Facebook friend now. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah,
That's
it's so funny how
fabulous.
it's just full circle in so many ways, So I can't wait to experience it. It's going to be good. 12 days.
12 days. 12 more
Coming up
days.
fast.
We have a couple of exciting announcements coming up. I've held something pretty, Tonya knows, but we've held a pretty interesting secret that is only going to happen on Saturday, and it's either going to be completely fabulous. I'm not going to jail for it, but it's either going to be completely fabulous, or people are going to be like, I do not understand why she did this. But they really don't understand why there's a TARDIS at an art festival either. So it'll be okay. So kind of keep an eye on Facebook. I'm sort of tightening up all the little details on that particular piece of it. And it'll only be on Saturday. Then we have a couple things that are only happening on Sunday. So if you want to see both fabulous, or if you want to see all the fabulousness, you have to come both days. So just saying, I just say yes. Somebody calls me and they're like, hey, you want to float a Loch Ness monster down the Ohio with like fireworks? Sure. Can you get a permit?
Yeah. And that's so cool because I think going back to how to describe the festival, I think you nailed it on the head, honestly, the first time we talked when you said, if Dusty was 8 years old and had free reign to plan a birthday party with everything she likes, what would there be? And thus born is Via.
Well, and
I'd like to just add, and the 25 kids she invited, they got to have what they wanted to.
Yeah. True story. She's not wrong. And I've already told Kayla that, CJ can do whatever he wants to. It just is. I think that, especially, with Girl Scouts now, not all girls are interested in chalk, and not all girls are interested in music. Not all girls are interested in, all the things. Not all girls are interested in blowing stuff up, but, I'm interested in all of it. But I also think that there's this thing, you want to, when you're building a community festival, you want to be able to have as much of the community involved so they can get behind the charity that you're working with, right? And so who searches for a dragon in the middle of an art festival? It doesn't make sense, but the local theater wanted to support the charity and then raise money and have donation buckets at each character. They didn't have a lot of money or whatever, but they could put the time and the energy into creating that program. And so I think yes, it's quirky and things like that, but it's all community coming out to help what we do at Girl Scouts and the important work we're doing every day. And it's girls seeing there's all these opportunities that you just don't think about, when you're working with an art festival.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love it. Like I said, being able to involve so many things that you expect from a festival, but then so many things you don't. Like the STEM zone and stuff,
I'm so excited.
Slightly work in tech, I guess, a little bit. I do some SQL stuff. And so just knowing that that's part of a festival is really cool because I think expanding access to STEM, especially for girls, is a really important thing right now because there's just not enough of a push for it. So I think it's awesome that it's the Girl Scouts is holding it and still including STEM and making sure to open the girls' eyes to so many different things, like you said. I think it's awesome.
Well, and we want people to have a good time, and we don't want there to be a financial barrier to Girl Scouting. I never want there to be a financial barrier to a child coming and experiencing something at VIA.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's really so. I'm sure the proceeds go to Girl Scouts. Are there anything that the proceeds go to directly, or is it just helps cover overarching fees for anything, or?
Well, yeah. So VIA actually goes to help with both membership financial aid and camp scholarships. So we give in 2023, since it's only the beginning of October for 24. I don't have all those numbers tallied, but in 2023, we gave over $180,000 in membership financial aid. So that's pretty cool. And almost 48,000 in camp scholarships. So VIA goes to help support that. And then, we have 7 camp properties. And that's a lot of stuff to take care of as a
lot of maintenance.
So we have really cool things at our camps that we're always, just repairing and replacing and all that kind of stuff. We have a pool. One of our camps is on the Barron River. We have a camp on Kentucky Lake. We have our own lake at a different camp. We have high ropes. We have a cave.
All kinds of stuff.
Lots of bugs and deer and trees and but there's a lot of stuff.
Armadillos.
A lot of our Girl Scouts do frequent those camps, and so we're always doing improvements to those camps and having to buy stuff and repair stuff, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
So
awesome. Well, thank you for that. I know, when you hear money goes to this organization, people don't always know what that means. Well, how is it? Like, what's it going to? So thank you for, sharing that. I think that's an important thing.
I've probably got 10 other things I'm supposed to be saying, but tomorrow I'll think of it and I'll call you or something.
It sounds good. That works. We'll add it to the screen. That's awesome. Again, I know I've said that probably 100 times since we started talking, but I mean it. I really do think it's awesome. So,
thank you.
And I think just based on who all we've talked to, definitely kudos to. Tonya got disconnected.
She'll come back.
It's
She's
those
fabulous.
2 moons again.
It's 2 moons. I said we didn't have aliens, but we have to. I'm going to hang my hat on that for everything this year.
Oh,
everything.
And now, there she is.
2 moons.
I was like, they all froze, and then I was like, no, that was me. I was the one I did not hang up.
It's the 2 moons, like we said.
I know. I never know what's going on until Dusty tells me. So now I'll have to look that up.
It's a real thing, which has been the funniest thing. Justin and I are we're weather deep right now. We're meeting in a couple of days just to go over all the final logistics because we have this ultra absolute worst case scenario plan 3 for if there is awfulness, but we really haven't planned for astronomical, type of events. And so I'm going to just be like, Justin, I need a space plan or something, just because it's going to be funny to drive him nuts 4 days before the festival. But, it's a thing. It's going to it's not going to affect anything according to NASA, but I love having an excuse.
Believe me, I do too.
Because then people who don't know, they're like, what are you, crazy? And then they get on NASA and they're like, wow, there really is 2 moons.
Yeah. Well, it's like an asteroid kind of caught in the moon's orbit. So it's a mini moon rotating around the moon as it's rotating around the Earth or something. I don't know. It is cool, though. We're only
going to have it till the end of November. And so, I think See, that's why I run the Corgi and Star Festival because I'm excited about exploding stuff in a STEM center and 2 moons being over Via 2024.
Can't wait.
I do think it's cool. I definitely can't wait. Again, thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you, Tonya, for taking some time and explaining some of those, why it's important to the Girl Scouts, why people should take the time. And then thank you, Christine, for coming on and sharing your story. It's really cool to be able to talk to you about that. And hopefully you make it over in the next couple years, I guess, and maybe we can actually meet in person. It sounds like it'd be fun.
That would be cool. Thank you. And thank you for having me. And thank you for inviting me to come and talk about Dad. I'm always keen.
Thank you. And thanks, guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear what you think of the festival.
I'm sure we'll have a whole review episode. Yeah, that too. We're gonna have to make sure a camera's rolling or something so we can get that.
No, it's a weekend long thing. You'll be fine.
Okay. I mean, still, yeah, I'm sure we're gonna have so much. We're gonna try to have so much footage of it too, just getting questions from our perspective, and I can't wait. It's gonna be a good weekend. So,
are you coming in costume?
Oh no! Oh no!
Is your daughter coming in costume?
Knowing her, she might put on like a tutu and like a little unicorn headband or something. But
it's another day for her.
Yeah, she'll run around the house like that anyway. She's very free spirited. So, yeah. So I don't have. Do you have anything else you wanted to?
No, just can't wait. We're excited for it.
So
appreciate it.
I guess with that, we can call that another one in the books. Again, thank you guys so much. It was so fun, and can't wait to at least meet a couple of you in person at the festival. So,
awesome.
Thank you so much.
Tonya and I will both be on golf carts, so you'll have to flag us down.
I was talking to Jeff and Carrie about that. I can't remember exactly why it came up, but we said something. You came up somehow, and I was like, I'll just look for her. Oh, they said we might not recognize them because they'll be covered in chalk. I said, that's okay. I'll just find the person flying around on the golf cart and ask where Jeff and Carrie are.
It's so funny because last year, so everybody has their own golf cart, but people keep forever, people just kept grabbing whatever golf cart they were. So Tonya makes everybody name tags for their golf carts now. So it's her golf cart, it's my golf cart, and don't touch my golf cart, don't touch her golf cart. Do whatever you want with everybody else's. We don't care. We don't fight those fights. Sometimes we go off in the same golf cart together, and then we leave our other one there, and people are like, where'd they go?
It's well, I see her golf cart. Where is she?
Yeah,
sounds fun. So wonderfully chaotic. Can't wait to experience it. Gonna be fun.
Me too.
So I guess with that we will call it done. Thank you again, and we will see everybody in the next one. We really appreciate it.
Sounds great. Thank you very much.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby.
Greatest. He'll fall an 8 to prove that I'm great. And if he keeps talking jive, I'm going to cut it to 5.